Alright, well, good evening, folks. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I streaming on a Sunday night? Well, I decided about last month, I decided when figuring out the last of my vacation days, I would use one of them for my birthday, which would be tomorrow. So now, thinking about what to do with it, well, for the most part, I'd be thinking about just taking it easy, maybe do a little shopping tomorrow, see if I can find some goodies. And then I thought, if that's the case, then I might as well see about doing some streaming tonight if I can help it. And so here we are. Probably give it about 2 more minutes before we start the game in case people are going to come in. Things worked out fairly well today, so I was definitely able to fit this one in. Now, I don't know how this is going to go a bit more differently because this time I'm doing it on my PS5. So I don't know if there's going to be any considerable differences. More than likely not, but you never know. Like I said, I want to give it about... Let me see. Gonna give it about 1 more minute before we start. Mostly so that way folks can get in, you know? Although, like I said, this was kind of a little bit last minute. Well, in one sense, a tiny bit last minute. I kind of had to attend to something earlier. I don't know why. Twitch was giving me a bit of giving me a bit of a headache. Well, mostly because when I try and watch streams lately on desktop, they didn't want to seem to load. It was stuck in an infinite loop, but I was able to figure that out. So I think I'll share a little bit of history. Well, let me see. I think I might share a little bit of history. Well, that's about it. So let's get started with the game. Well, let's see what game edition. Oh, I see. We can change between the, let's see now, Japanese version and the English one. Start to begin this way. I played the game more than enough times so I don't need to do like the rookie assist. This stream will likely go on until I beat the game, I suppose. I don't know how long it's going to take. Mark 17. Lightweight titanium X alloy. X is the first of a new generation of robots which contain an innovative new feature, the ability to think, feel, and make their own decisions. However, this ability could be very dangerous. If X were to break the first rule of robotics, a robot must never harm a human being, the results would be disastrous, and I fear that no force on Earth could stop him. Approximately 30 years will be required before we can safely confirm his reliability. Unfortunately, I will not live to see that day, nor do I have anyone to carry on my work. Therefore, I have decided to seal him in this capsule, which will test his internal systems until his reliability has been confirmed. Please do not disturb the capsule until that time. X possesses great risks as well as great possibilities. I can only hope for the best. September 18, 20XX, Thomas Light. That being the T, anyway. Oh yes, fun fact. I think I remember. I think my family had got the SNES before. My older sister had a friend who had one too, and she had a number of games. Oh yeah, welcome, G-Man. That's a very good question because, as far as I know, there hasn't actually been anything that unified that has squashed together everything within a canon timeline. Let me see. So this is at least 30 years, and as far as I know, I don't know if the Game Boy games are canon in a certain sense, because as far as I know regarding those, Dr. Wily would go to the future about 100 years using the time skimmer, in which he finds Rock, brings him back, and then reprograms him into Quint, the first Mega Man killer. And as far as I know, in the future, Rock had retired from being Mega Man and just pretty much lived out life how he wanted to, I believe. I do recall the last thing I saw in regards to that was basically, I think if you look at the old Archie comics, Thomas does go through a little bit of a time trip, seeing of things that maybe things are about to be. And in one bit, we see the present time Dr. Wily apparently making some kind of deal with a version of himself from the future, or at least that's what it looks like to me. Let's see. All right, I think that's about everything. So let's get started, shall we? I think while I did see a few of the classic games when I was young, I really didn't try them out for myself until my sister brought this game over. So this could basically be considered also my first crash course in all things Mega Man, and it was a bit of hard knocks. But it's also one I have fond memories of. Actually, it's better that I got rid of the borders. Lovely, yep. It's emblematic of this series. Ow! Wise guy. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. He doesn't get that yet. Oh, going down. Enemies are pretty generous with the HP pickup. Yep. And there's one down here, I think. Well, two. Oh, we got 3 people in the chat. Now Knight just got hit by a missile. Ow. Well, I'll take that. Oh. This thing is not built to safety standards. Whoa. Oh, these things. I don't like those. Huh? Ow. You missed. Yep. Ow. Oh, this isn't good. Ow! You worthless piece of scrap metal. Did you think you could defeat me? Hmm? Guess I'm not powerful enough to defeat him. X, you shouldn't expect to defeat him. He's designed to be a war machine. Remember, you've not reached full power yet. If you use all the abilities you were designed with, you should become stronger. Love that Mega Man Zero uses this theme again. Oh yeah. Hard to forget that. Hey, wait. You may even become as powerful as I am. I'll go ahead and collect as much information on Sigma's fortress as I can. I'll meet up with you when you get there. See you later. X, I know you can do it. Oh yes, I should provide a little bit of context for those who aren't familiar with this game. Now, supposedly, this takes place about 30 years, at least after the classic timeline. Now, after that point, around 30 years, which we'll call it, X's capsule was discovered by a scientist named Dr. King. He came across it around the time that X's reliability had been confirmed. Now, King wasn't so sure what to make of X at first. I mean, he seemed robotic, and yet he acted almost like a human, as human could get. So then after reacquainting things for a while, supposedly Dr. Kane tried to take a look at the designs that went into X, and so the two actually began building what would end up becoming a new race of robots. However, from what my understanding is, there were some things Dr. King could not replicate. For as advanced as the future's technology is, there are some aspects of Dr. Light's tech that he could not match one for one. So, basically using X as a bit of a rough blueprint, the two ended up creating a race of robots that had independent thought. This because they were replicated from Light's design, although not 100%. These were called Reploids. Now, for a time, things were alright, but then, after a while, a number of these Reploids started going berserk. They started acting in crazy and wild ways, and because of this, they ended up proving a threat to each other and to humanity. As an answer to this, Dr. Kane took some of the Martial Reploids and then formed them together into what become known as the Maverick Hunters. Led by Sigma, their commander. Sigma was supposedly the most powerful Reploid of the time, and he was built basically to be to be a countenance to what the Reploids were. But somewhere down the line, he too went berserk. He believed that humanity was no longer fit to rule the planet, and it was time for Reploids to take over. And so he instigated a rebellion against humanity. As we see here, 8 powerful Reploids have joined under him. So now our task... Yep, you're right about that, G-Man. Dr. Kane personally designed and built Sigma himself. And yet somehow, things went wrong. And as the rebellion started escalating, X ended up coming into the conflict. Now at first, as far as I know, right out of the capsule, X was a bit of a gentle sort. He didn't like fighting outright, but he did know someone had to do something, which is why we ended up seeing him on the highway as we did. Unfortunately, as we saw, he's got a lot of growing to do. Okay, usually folks start with G-Man, yeah, with the with Chill Penguin, but I think if I were right from the get-go, I ended up going with Flame Mammoth first. Yeah, you could say that. You could definitely say that X inherited Rock's sense of justice. Whoa! Ah! Okay. Okay, it is an insta-kill. But it is molten slag, so it's not surprised that it hurts. This place is definitely not built to OSHA standards. Ow, wise guy. I know, I know, G-Man. This isn't exactly my first rodeo, but I don't know if I'll be able to get it, though. At least not without certain parts, anyway. And somehow the Mets survived to this point in history. I really don't know if I'll be able to make it. Nope, apparently not. Ow, ow. Didn't they appear in Legends? Well, I think... Well, let me see. I think not the Mets per se, but I know the construction hats did. Because as a matter of fact, one of the construction hats was actually the basis Roll would use for Volnut's helmet. And I do remember there being quite a few construction workers at Legends because depending on how you played the game, you may end up having to spend some time... Whoa, I forgot about those presses. You may have to spend some time financing reconstruction efforts around catalogs. Ooh, squashed flat like a little pancake. Ow! Ow! I don't know if the Joe line is going this far, because I remember, well, at the time I didn't know what they were, but I jokingly tend to call these guys Flail Joes. Mostly because they remind me of the old Sniper Joe enemies from the classic series. Actually, come to think of it, I think we do see something along the lines of them here. But then come to think of it, the Joes had only one eye, I think. Now this is an interesting fight right here since we're on a conveyor belt. Oh, and here's the big guy himself. Yeah. Ow. Well, I can't say I'm too surprised. We came in here fairly weak. Alright, let's try this again. Now, I do remember, one thing I do like how X was pretty much set up, at least by the producers, they set him up as the kind of guy who tends to stumble and fall when he first, when it comes to the start of a battle, what you would call, like, he's usually the first one to go down, but he keeps getting back up, he'll keep on fighting, And that trying to trade that demonstrates that he usually ends up winning in the end. Ow! And I did find out the hard way that these games are a bit more harder. But, even so, like I said, I mean, keep going at it and eventually you win. Eventually. Problem is right now trying to avoid the flame shots, that's what it is. Like right here, he can't aim any higher. Ah! That'll shut you up. That's the first one down. We get Fire Wave. And now we go from somewhere hot to somewhere really cold. These look like bare-bone bats. Oh yeah, that being said, speaking of Zaku's, I need to think about what I'm going to stream tomorrow night. I've already got I've already narrowed it down to two choices, and like I said, I will likely flip for it. Ow. And what's this? So you've come. X, I gave you the ability to choose your own path in life. And I hoped the world would allow you to choose a peaceful one. But now it seems that you are destined to fight. Because I thought the world might need a new champion, I have hidden capsules like this one. If you find and use them, you will be able to increase your powers beyond anything the world has ever known. Step into this capsule and receive an acceleration system to boost your speed. Good luck, X. And then new to the series, we get capsule upgrades. Well, or basically parts. In this case, this upgrade lets us dash. This is going to open up quite a few things for us. Oh, I didn't dash. Okay, now that was silly. That was just... We're off to a great start, folks. Okay, since we're on the subject, when should I decide the toss? That's a good question. Now, thinking about tomorrow, I do go back to work on Tuesday, so I'm probably not going to stream something very long. Well, probably within the usual 1 hour, maybe 2 constraints. Actually, there's one little trick that I don't know that a lot of people know about with this. You can actually do like a dash jump off the walls. Now, there aren't many places where this exactly has a useful application, but it's definitely a nice little trick to know. Now, let's try this again, shall we? Yeah, because that's part of the problem. These things love to crash into you when you're trying to cross the gaps. Some kind of a punk ostrich? I like how they react to you before they fling the saw blade at you. Well, it must be an inferior one, because if that was a metal blade, we'd be dead. Oh yes, another feature. We get mechs of our own. But first, I'm going to need it for this. Someone totally snowballs at us. And here he's himself. You don't like the heat, do you? Oh, that's right. He's somewhat invincible when he does the slide. Come on, get it over with. Ooh. Roasted penguin. Normally I would find that a bit funny, but under current circumstances, I don't think someone would appreciate that. So how should I proceed? Oh yeah, I know one way I can proceed. Actually, maybe I might hold off on that one for just a little bit. I wonder how they handle the luggage around here. Another new feature of the series, life extensions. In this case, the heart tanks. Let me see something pretty quick. I know it's early. I know I posted work early, which is why I'm getting early well wishes. I definitely appreciate that. Oh, hey, let go! Wise guy. Airpoint 1001? Okay, I don't know why they have these turrets here on these rising platforms. Oh yeah, gun vault. I remember this. The control towers. Oh yeah, fun fact. I think they're actually upgrading whatchamacallits. I think they're doing some upgrades at an airport downtown. If I remember right, one of the things they're going to upgrade is do some major upgrades to the control tower, because they're kind of hoping that that this would be the start of some much needed renovations. One, I hope they really fix is the parking, because there's barely any parking over there. You go there on any good day, and most of the spots are already taken. Whoops. I think we overdid it. Ow. I should be careful not to get too carried away. Let's see, Megatroid, welcome! Thank you very much for the well wishes. But good to have you with us. I haven't seen you on the stream since I was still doing Megaton Musashi Wired. And for the uninitiated, and I think if I'm right, for the uninitiated, the game I just mentioned right now, Megaton Musashi Wired is something of is one part. Let me see, visual novel and one part it's mech combat. Well, it harkens back to to a bit of the mecha genre if you're familiar with the kind pioneered by Go Nagai. And if I remember, the guy actually designed one of the mechs for the series for that game. Of course, you enjoy seeing your enjoying peak in your almost birthday stream. Oh, thank you very much. Oh wait, we gotta talk about this capsule contains an enhancement for your helmet, which will allow you to break certain ceilings with a headbutt. Yep, Mazinger Z, Getter Robo. Let me see, Combatler V. Yeah, the one that really surprised me though was Mazinger though. But then again, Mazinger was pretty much like the granddaddy of the mecha genre. Oh yeah, Gradidzer, yeah, definitely remember those two in there as well. I wonder if anything's got updated since last time I played that game. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Although I know Twitch is a bit finicky with third-party content, because I think it stems back to the game's composer. I don't think he liked the idea of people playing the music on the stream. Because I do remember a good number of my streams back then, they were muted in some parts, probably because of certain bits of the game's soundtrack that he didn't want heard on streams. Or at least that's my understanding. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's actually been an actual conclusion to that story yet, because I don't know why, but Level 5 seems to have a very unusual thing going with that game particularly. Like, they kind of treat it as a bit of a throwaway, I think. Oh! I accidentally stepped on that platform and triggered it to drop. You'll be busy today, but you can stick around, but you will be lurking. Enjoy Mega Man X, and you hope you get lots of cake and ice cream. Well, let me see. We actually had cupcakes earlier, but I think I could definitely do something about that tomorrow. I definitely wouldn't mind getting a slice of Italian cream cake, Italian cream, and then as for ice cream, I know there's a holiday, oh yeah, you're enjoying your time in Azuma 11. Nice. Actually, I do remember one more funny thing about Megaton Musashi Wired. They do a lot of nods to a lot of Level 5's other games with some of the mech decals. One of the most unusual I've seen was actually a nod for Professor Layton, of all things. Layton! I know a friend who got a real kick out of that. Although I'm kind of... actually, thinking about it now, I'm kind of not surprised we're not seeing a nod for something like Ni no Kuni, but the problem is that one's also... I'm thinking that one's owned by Namco Bandai, so maybe that's why we haven't seen anything to that regard yet, if at all. And here we are on the ship that we saw in the first stage. I think they call this the Death Rogoomer. Hey, it's a lift. What does this do? Hey, what does this do? Uh-oh, I think we just tore up the ship. Now, I think there was a fact about Storm Eagle. If I remember, he was part of the Maverick Hunters, and he tried to take on Sigma, but he wasn't successful, so he ended up serving under him out in the rebellion. And if I remember right, to an extent, he had something of a rivalry with Zero. Although I think that was a bit more in the I can't remember who was who did the manga, but I know someone did one in that regard. And it was actually kind of funny to see Storm Eagle and Zero just bickering and then fighting with each other. You're grounded, mister. Wait a minute. Wait. The ship's going down. X, what are you doing there? Abandoned ship, man! Let's see, we get Storm Tornado. This is one weapon I like. It doesn't get as much use. Well, to me, it's a bit underestimated, because this thing, let's see, needs to aura farm. Yeah, but that's not a good idea, farming aura on top of a falling airplane. Oh yeah, since we got the, the helmet upgrade, let's go back here, because I know there's some things we didn't get. One thing oh yeah, and one thing I did like that this game introduced is the changing environments. Like, before we came here, we had hot slag running through these channels, and we have fire spouts shooting off different parts of the complex. But depending on who you defeat, it actually affects certain stages. Like in this case, this would have happened after you beat Chill Penguin. Like right here, we don't have those fire spouts shooting upwards. Now, this is going to be a little rough. Come on. Come on, I know I can do it. There we go. This capsule contains a part which will increase the capabilities of your X-Buster. You can use it to fire all types of weapons. Here's something Dr. Light doesn't tell you. Well, actually, it's kind of worded poorly. Well, first, let's see the demonstration. In this case, first, we get a more powerful charge. And this is what Dr. Light says when he says you can use it to fire all kinds of weapons. Although, looking back on it now, it's kind of worded poorly. You can use it to charge up all sorts of weapons like this. This is our standard flame wave fire, and this is what happens when you charge it up. This I thought was really neat. So this adds a very interesting layer of play to the game, that you can experiment with all sorts of weapons and that forward. Look, we have our own penguin sled. Now there's one more thing two more things we need here. Yeah, you like launch octopus. Oh yeah, his I think it was homing torpedo. And this may sound a bit silly, but kind of like the person they did for him for Maverick Hunter X. They made him a tiny bit of a narcissist. Because I remember you could say, at least my explosion would be beautiful. Yeah, he literally said that as he's dying. Alright, now that we got that, we can get out of here. I really do need to consider dusting off Megaton Musashi sometime. Because I'm pretty sure it has the transferring everything to the PS5, it should still have the data and everything in it, so that should be fun to look at. Although one thing I kind of have a problem with the game is that the mech combat segments are fairly short depending on the missions. So you kind of don't get to enjoy them except in short bursts. But I think they offset that with some of the online aspects of it, like you can fight other players, you can do tournaments of sorts, so that you can try and get better parts to upgrade your mechs. That's something I enjoy doing, but I kind of forgot about that. Now let's see. Let's see, nice. Oh yeah, and then I do remember. I ended up first time around. I do remember being this guy before what you call it's what you call it? Dang it, I can't remember. I can't remember for the life of me. Spark Mandrill, that's his name. Oh geez, I am getting old now. I'm starting to forget some things. Ah, run. One has to wonder what you would call it. Ooh. One has to wonder what kind of material goes into those Mets helmets, considering even after 30 years, you can't break through them. We got 4 watching in the chat. How you all doing tonight? Oh yeah, I think that being said, another reason I kind of did as a bit of a pre-birthday stream is because normally I work on Mondays, but I decided to use one of my vacation days for tomorrow. And so that being said, my family pretty much celebrated my birthday earlier today, and I did get quite a few things. And I think there's one thing I will say, I mean, odds are good, I'm probably going to be setting up the Christmas tree this year, but in a very unusual way. It's going to be a bit unorthodox. But the funny thing was, I was actually thinking of getting the item in question. Oh wait, I gotta do something about this. Because I forgot there's something up ahead that we need. And we can't get it if if that bowl drills away this bit right here. Ow. These look like they might have... These look like they might have been ripped off from Eggman's Valkyrie units. Well, that being said, if I remember right, there was one enemy in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. They were basically like chicken-based fighter planes. They were literally called Valkyries. Now, this is going to get a bit rough because I don't have his weakness right here. But I do remember how to fight him. And worst case scenario, I still have the tanks. Yeah, because part of the problem is he'll do that. That's his electric spark. The only way he can hit him is... either get him midair or just before he starts firing off those little head blasts. Ow. I can't... Which one was the options button? Oh, that was that one. Yeah. I picked the wrong one, that's why. Alright, let's try this again, shall we? And the crazy thing is, it doesn't hurt that much. Okay, so you can't. I was thinking maybe you might be able to hit him after he fires off the electric spark, but I guess not. Let's try and experiment pretty quick. Okay, so unfortunately it goes back to an old piece of wisdom. No matter how the mountain howls, the mountain cannot bow to it. And fortunately, Armored Armadillo seems to embody that piece of wisdom. However, the mountain can bow even to the lowliest of stonecutters. Come on. Problem is, yeah, that's part of the problem. Touching him hurts a lot. Perhaps this wasn't the best of ideas. Well, I see fire hurts him at least. Well, not even fire. Okay. Okay, so ice can hurt him regardless, so okay, that's good. That's good to know. Problem is you have to hit him from the front. Yeah. I suppose you could say it's just to keep things from getting too predictable and boring. Because the other part of the problem is, which we'll call it, like I said, one. Looking back, I don't know how I was able to beat this guy. And unfortunately, since we haven't cleared the stage, we're stuck with this. Because he can pretty much wreck us right now. Okay, I guess you can. I think maybe I can cheese him a little bit with this. Maybe.
Or at least getting a few more hits. Oops, I forgot to charge. Easier to pull off when you're far away. Not exactly. Let's see. Probably not, but you never know. Oh, blue blistering barnacles. Pull it off. Let that be a lesson to you. Talk about turning tragedy into triumph. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. I guess I still feel a little bit irpy from all the food. Ow. Oh, whoa. Now, Storm Tornado is good for damage sponges like these. Oop, don't mind if I do. Well, that answered what I was going to say next. You can't take much more than that. Hey! It's kind of weird that these guys can just suck him in like that. He has to blast his way out from the inside. Now, okay, this is where things are gonna get nasty. Case in point. I didn't expect it to pull me in like that. I wasn't ready. Ugh. And I think that's the last one you have to worry about. Must be an offshore oil rig here. Yeah, actually it looks like it's doing all these chemicals and things in vats. Dive! Dive! Makes one wonder what was under this thing. The dome. Oh yeah, Ouroboros. I like that he reacts when you shoot him. Ow, 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 ow. And you can kind of climb on his body. Kind of. Like he with the walls. Oops. Ow, ow, ow. Uh-oh. Cool. Oh. Oh, another one. Come to think of it, we did see the... yeah, that's right. The factory stage was basically a disposal area, and I do remember seeing these heads. Now that I think about it. That's neat. I really don't know how it's gonna go. Well, we do have the weakness, but there is one problem as well with Launch Octopus, which will likely become apparent very soon. He's like this, like you're going down. Uh-oh. I don't think this is gonna work. Is gonna go well. Ah! He's gonna suck us to death! And he stomped us, too. Well, I think we still have plenty of ammo, so we should be able to do it. Not too much. Let's try this again, shall we? I keep hitting that button in the middle when I don't want it to. At least your explosion will be beautiful. Dang it, I had something better. Well, too late for that now. And we get the homing torpedo. Homing torpedo. I think that's a bit of an English mistranslation. It's like horming. Horming? What is horming? Or dare I not want to know? Let's see. Thinking back on this one, I think maybe they might have done this one a little bit as a minor nod to Elec Man stage, because I remember Elec Man was situated in a great tower of sorts. I don't know, maybe that's just me thinking a little bit too loudly through nostalgic lenses. Yeah, Storm Tornado will make quick work of these things. Turn these guys into turtle soup. Oh geez, an elevator of death. Death to the sides, death from above. And these annoying things coming from the side. It's actually just be thinking about doing one or two things afterwards. Like I said, I don't know how long it'll take. Taking a little bit longer than usual, folks, since I decided to go after Armored Armadillo without his weakness. Now this, I think we can do something about. First try. One thing I do like about it is that certain things have more than one solution if you know how to go about it. In that case, that was a tiny bit of a hard way, but also inventive. The other way involves getting a certain weapon. And we don't have it just yet. Not long too soon. Ow. Ooh, he's fast. I actually couldn't think it maybe. I wonder if Quickman kind of inspired this guy a little bit. I mean, yeah, I know he's based on the Kwenger Beetle, but the speed aspects pretty much reek of Quickman. Or maybe that's, like I said, that's probably just me looking at things a bit later. I like how he reels from some of them when you nail him with the like this. Like, ow, ow, and you're done. Let's see. Well, since we have this, I know where we can go. Let's see, what have we got? Well, let me take stock of what we got. Done everything from here, everything from here. Most everything from here. Done in here, there's only 2 left. Sting Chameleon. Actually, think about this now. Maybe I should think about streaming X-Dive now that I think about it. Oh yeah, they have Mets in disguise here. You see those little tufts of grass? They're Mets! And they lob worms at you. Oh, that's right. These things, those little guys, I think were based off water striders. This might be a little bit tricky, but I think it's doable. Funny thing is, there's another secret within close proximity. Now this guy is a bit of a damage sponge, but I don't think he's susceptible to the storm tornado. Ow! That hurt. Problem is, he has a very small hitbox to target. Not this time. Nope. Nope. Try again. No, so close. Whoopsie daisy. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, you got a little bit longer that time. Crazy part is it takes this much ammunition to beat. Jeez, tanky boy. Ooh, hello. This capsule contains a new type of body armor. It will reduce damage to your systems by 50%. Nice. With snazzy new body armor. And we have all the upgrades. Yep. Oh, yeah, I think I have the nano. I still have the nano droid of Exelon. Well, both of them. One with without the armor, and one with. I think the one without I still have sealed, along with the whatchamacallit. I think they call it the rabbit ride armor. I think they called it. I think they call it rabbit. Come on, I dare you to throw it again. Aha! Just taking the mech out for walkies. Oh, you want to fight, huh? Well, that didn't last long. Come on. Come on, seek. Ah, you couldn't seek fast enough. I don't know how many tons you weigh. Is it night already? Maybe. Oh, you want to fight, huh? Alright, round 2. Knockout. Now, as bad as Armored Armadillo is, Sting Chameleon I think is worse if you try and fight him without the right weapon. He doesn't hit as hard, but he's hard to hit. What's the matter, pal? Cat got your tongue? And yeah, his camouflage effect makes him invisible. And you're done. And we get the chameleon sting. Now, before we go on to the last stage, let me just do a little farming here. Hey, Tom-Toms! Last time we saw these was hanging around Dr. Wiley's place. Oh, I think that's what they were called? No, that's one. We still need more. This is a good place to farm energy for the sub-tanks. Because this is actually one good thing that takes advantage of the enemies respawning. Makes it easier to hunt them down, and they're easy to kill, so... I swear, they spawn like rabbits! Okay, now you guys are starting to get stingy with the energy. Let's see. Okay, now for the last one of the bunch. Oh yes, given the fact that we came here after Storm Eagle, the Death Rogoomer crashed over here, and it's cut off some of the power around here, because normally you would see electric sparks running around the tubing here. So we made quite a mess before we even arrived. Let's see. Oh. Ooh, neat. Those things travel at the speed of light, I think. Although they can also annoy you at the speed of light. Ow. Case in point. Well, that was close. This is pretty interesting. The use of mode 7, I think. Where this big blob-like amoeba is surrounded itself in. And it's even blinking. I think I'm remembering them. Oh yeah, Iwamoto I think was the one who did the manga. If I remember, I still let me see. Sparkman described this guy as like his pet, and he was a little bit miffed that X destroyed him. A little bit. Of course, that doesn't change much considering that Spark Mandrill is a bit of a power-hungry jerk. But then again, so is Flame Man. You know, Flame Man, I kind of believe in, that power mattered more. Like, the strong should survive, so... Problem is, he never could stop tooting his own trumpet. Or trunk, as the case may be. Gotcha. So dark. Someone turn on the lights around here. Actually, I doubt it, but let's see. Yeah. I had a feeling that wasn't going to happen. The using this thing would turn on the lights. That would have been I wonder if they actually thought about that during the development. Hey, you know what if the player decides to use the flame wave? Should we rather turn on the lights? Like, nah. Oh, what? Oh. This is sad. Knockout. Didn't lay a hand on me. Oh god, actually that would have been a good thought if you actually did. I was like, take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! And we get the electric spark. Someone enjoyed that one. And with that, we finish off the 8 Mavericks. Oh, we meet with Zero again. Finally, we found Sigma's fortress. Let's go in and put an end to his war against the humans. Before we do that, though, let me see. Okay, I need to run through, see if there's anything missing. Got those. Definitely got those 3. Those 2, yep. There was only one here, so we got that. Oh, I see. Let's see. Let's do it. Let's see. Let's try it by the sub-things. Got one here. Got one here. Got one here. One here. Okay, that's the sub-things. Now for the hard things. Capsules. Got this one, this one, and this one. Now the hard things. Definitely do that one. Yes. Yes. Definitely. Yep. Okay, now we need to head over here. Let's see. Nightingale Moon. Ah, welcome, Nightingale. Good for you to join us. We just got towards the end game. In this case, we just beat the 8 Mavericks, so next stop is going to be Sigma's Fortress. But before we do that, there's one thing we need to pick up. But before we can do that, I need to do a little more farming here. Come on. Come on, you guys. Don't be stingy now. Come on, you bats. Don't be stingy with the energy now. Alright. Now let's get going. Let me see. What's poppin'? And nice. We love fighting Sigma. Yep. Alright. Now, I've already got everything here, so I don't need to bother with that mole thing. But I do need to move faster. Oh! I underestimated the reach of that thing! Okay, that was stupid. That was really stupid. Okay, note to self, there is such a thing of setting up a pratfall and messing it up. Basically a Daffy Duck situation, more or less. Going down. That's a lot of lemons. Here we go. And we are going to have to do this a few times. I know, but I can grab some lives in the meantime. Unfortunately, because of that, we're going to have to go through the whole stage again, but that's all part of the plan. That would have been a 3-point landing, except for that ostrich at the end. Well, he went out digging. Gaffer be crazy letting that thing running through the mines like that. Oh, no one knows what Gaffer be thinking, says oi. Oh great, I'm still carrying over a little bit from Lost Legends of Redwall. Those darn balls. Now that was a 3-point landing. Oh, excuse me. That's 3. Actually, I'll let this guy just bump himself off. We really don't get much, well, sometimes we might get life, sometimes we might not, but it's not worth just wearing out the controller, blasting him all the time. Granted, I only have this one over a year. There we are. I give you a special present. Now enter the capsule, please. Yep. Yep, we get to use the Hadouken. We just get a little practice in since we're here. Easier to do it with this, with the joystick than with the D-pad. Problem is, unless you're good with... Problem with this thing is you have to have full health in order to use it. Yeah. They just couldn't resist putting it in. At least they didn't use Ryu's voice. That would have been too blah. But now we have everything. So, onward. Let's split up. I'll go in first, and then you can slip in while I keep the main defense force busy. Ow. Okay, now this is going to be annoying. But I do have a workaround for this. Ah! No! Dang it. Yeah, that's one thing I hate about this stage. It's these platforms And the fact that these things keep coming at us. I'll say one thing though, you really get your mileage out of the rolling shield healer. Just one. Just one is enough to make it all that way as opposed to using the chameleon sting. It's him again. Stay back, X. I'll take him on. Like, hey, wait for me! That didn't sound good. Oh no. X, do what I tell you or he's history. Don't listen to him, X. Go ahead and blast him. Dream on, Zero. X knows he can't defeat me. My armor carrier is more than a match for his ancient weapons. Oh, not good. Maybe. But I'm not through yet. Wait, what are you doing? Oh no! That did not look pleasant. What a worthless gesture. I can't be defeated so easily. So, X, it's just you and me now. What the? Where did that energy come from? It really doesn't matter how much energy you absorb, X. You are still far too weak. Prepare to be terminated. Like, ah! Impossible! You got blown up off screen. That's a new one. Oh man, what happened to you? Said X, I've taken too much damage. Auto repair systems can't handle it. My power's fading fast. Your power is greater than I thought. Maybe you can destroy Sigma. Blech. And there goes Zero. And we have to carry on the fight. Oh, well, he'll hire himself to repair himself? That is still a very weird thing. I honestly don't believe that. I'm sorry. I kind of have my own theory on how that went, and I don't think he was able to repair himself like that. Not like that, anyway. Okay, let's see. Let's see if this will work. And yeah, that is basically a meme. He thinks he somehow was able to hide and effect repairs on himself during the course of X6. But I think there's more going on than that. Oh, whoa. Not a moment too soon. Problem is, the rate these guys respond is ridiculous. I think I remember someone actually replicated this level in Mega Man Maker, and it is I've seen someone play it. It is rough, very rough trying to get through there. Oh man, if only they knew if they kept Lifesaver around. No, I think there are still lifesavers, but I don't know how many they have in available. Well, here's the thing though, there's more than one lifesaver. At least as far as I know. And you're toast. I knew you were behind me. It was almost like the Batman backhand maneuver. Yeah, they were mass-produced Reploids line, if you remember the lore right. Yep, that they were. And because of that, they look more mechanical compared to the compared to the rest of the hunters. Ow. Open up. And I love for them that you go funky, guys. Well, you could pretty much say it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. I mean, you'd practically need an army of them after the Eurasia incident. Okay, we're fully kitted out. Oh, this is one I hate. Boss Spider. Because it is a very annoying pattern. Well, this is... Yeah. I mean, that's actually a point for a campaign I'm going to run based on the X series. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, this is actually based upon a ladder game in Japan, more or less. At least how this is set up. Because he'll go down whichever path intersects the cross. But of course, the problem is it's hard to predict as he takes damage. That's the real problem with this guy. And then he'll start dropping babies, so to speak. Yeah. Rude, Spider. Rude is right. Of course, the problem is if you can get kind of a quick read on where he's going, it'll make things a little bit easier, though not by much. As you can see, he just dropped one during mid descent, and you're squashed. And I think some people would argue that that guy is the hardest one in the game. Let's see, consider the fact we didn't spend any E-Tanks, that's good. We can go straight on to the next one. Oh yeah, another fun fact about that one stage, about that one Mega Man Maker stage I mentioned. It didn't stop just with the. Well, they couldn't put boss fire in, so they did have one of the robot masters in for it. But it didn't end with that. It kept on going right into this one. I think they designed that stage to encompass all the stages of Sigma's Palace. All 4 of them. Oof. That's why I said that one was basically rough. Oh, nice. Yes, unless you're the guy who happens to be playing it, because then, it's basically like a one-stage Otter Dufay. Well, actually, let's see if I can pull it off. I want to try at least get one boss with Hadoken. Oh! Oh, somebody always somehow managed to mess it up. And if you so much as one blip, you can't do it. Because I don't want to waste the whole energy tank just to do that. Let's see if I can get behind him. Nope, not without incident. And that's the last time we'll have to fry him. Oh, hey! Oh, thankfully you're not vile. I'll take that, thank you. Who's up for a bit of mech boxing? Well, that was quick. Oops, got out of it too soon. It's wild how we see a lot of the Command Center staff in the X games, save for the likes of the Navigators and like from Nana from Command Mission. Yeah, how little we see of a lot. Yeah, there are a few people involved within the administrative affairs of the Maverick Hunters. I mean, even then, the closest we've probably seen, even though it's one shot, is basically Midi, and I can't remember the other one. The other one's name, his twin. Because I think I remember, right, at this point, I mean, Dr. Kane is pretty much the de facto leader. Well, no. Sigma was acting commander, but whatchamacallit, they operated under Dr. Kane. And I suppose that's only fitting considering the fact that he created Sigma, and now Sigma's running amok, so I suppose that makes sense. And here comes round 2 with Storm Eagle. Well, that clipped his wings. Yeah, after X3, he stopped appearing. Yeah, he stopped appearing in X3, I believe. Yeah, if I remember right, X3 was Dr. Kane's last real appearance in the series. And I think after the events of X4, he stepped down as commander. And that ended up getting picked up by Cygnus, if I remember right.
Because I think something about the Repliforce incident hit Dr. Kane pretty hard. Oh, it's Rangda Bangda. It's really one of the faces of evil. Cygnus is so cool to Mew. It's such a shame we don't get to see more of him outside of a few dialogues or lines. Yeah, you know what? I kind of wanted to see how it was like when he was, on active duty. Because I don't think he took up the position willingly, but he knew someone had to lead in the wake of Dr. Kane stepping down. And then I think of our fun fact, I think in X7 he was voiced by Robert Belgrade. He ended up carving a name for himself as Alucard in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But I know I've heard him again recently in doing narration for Chronicles of the Wolf, which came out this past summer. Oh wait, no. Oh no, it was Chameleon Sting. Problem is, it's hard to get a beat on him. Oh! I actually streamed Chronicles of the Wolf in October. It was definitely a fun one. Well, I only used one tank, so we still got plenty of ammo. There's 3 separate health bars. One for each eye, one for the nose. Well, that'll save a trip to the dentist and the optometrist. Time for a quick bit of refueling. Come on. Okay, Maverick Hunter X was an interesting reboot. I wish we got to see more in terms of the world, but then Kane died in 1. But we also saw a younger Cygnus in, I believe. He looked like he was a security officer of some kind. I think so. I know there's none of you like, X, take the shot! One thing I did like about Maverick Hunter X was they included an OVA with that as a bit of a that actually shows a little bit more of the world before we got to the events of the game. In this case, it did show that X did join the Hunters prior to the rebellion, and that he and Zero were on good terms with each other. And I think there's another meme, like sometimes Zero's like, let's get a sandwich, or something like that. I don't know. The way he's looking at the vid show me, it's almost like that a little bit. Oh wait, no, we can't do this one. It's basically
Yeah, problem is, Armanard is too unpredictable with his whatchamacallits, with his rolling around. Let's see if we can pull it off. Because all he got now? Oh! No! Ah. Well, guess what? You can't absorb energy anymore. Let's see, I like too much. You rolled out for the last time, pal. Oh, actually, that game was also a source for a lot of memes. Another thing that was interesting because I think the English stuff for that was held by the Ocean Group, and they made a name for themselves with a lot of anime around the time. I think one of the most unusual, the one-liners. One I love that I recall for a fact. They also did the English dub for G Gundam, and that was a meme onto itself once. Basically, it showed how Sigma got that scar. X used a shining finger on him. Oh god. Although it also fits considering Mark Gatha did both X and Domo Kashu. And oh yeah, Sigma also did I think his actor also did Master Asia, if I'm not mistaken. So it fits. It was almost like, I don't know if they did, I don't know if that was done purposely or it was just a matter of things aligning to a certain point, but it just felt like, it felt like someone was hoping something like that would happen. It's just hilarious. See, you thought it'd be cooler if he had just painted on aesthetics, but it's funny to think how the alignment worked out. Actually, another one, I think in the Iwamoto manga, Sigma gave himself that scar to show that he had defected. And also, another thing that kind of would... Oh, you know what? I'm kind of surprised... actually thinking about it now, maybe they couldn't clear any things out. Yeah, so the manga is aesthetics, got it. And there was another thing from the manga that I'm surprised they didn't try to bring into X-Dive. There was actually a female Maverick Hunter. I think her name was Marty. She was something like a mermaid, and... let me see. She kind of had a thing for X. Because if you think about the Navigators, Aaliyah is pretty much like a big sister, but oh gosh, Marty, she kind of fell for him in a way. Oh, I think if I remember right, next up I believe is, oh wait, actually, I don't know if we'll be able. I don't think we're gonna be able to pull it off, because that's gonna depend on his opening move. Yeah, Burkana, I think... Ah, no! If that first shot didn't hit him, that would have got him. If that first lemon didn't hit him, that would have got him for sure. And he still goes down like a palooka. Yeah. Let me see. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do more with Burkana outside of the main story of Extreme. Because, you know what? She would have been a good fit for it. Because thinking about it now, the DNA souls seems to have been like the basis for what would become the Nightmare phenomena. Or at least play a small bit into it. But it also did show something else. It did also show... Iris was indeed part of Repliforce, and then sometimes if the occasion called for it, Repliforce and the Hunters worked hand in hand to deal with certain incidents. And I think if I remember, Iris was pretty much like the main go-between for them. Alright, let's see what we can do about you. Well, I know there's something I want to do first before... Probably not going to be able to do it, considering the kind of range... Yeah, the range that those homing torpedoes have. Can you imagine trying to do a damageless run of this game? Okay, DNA Souls was a big inspiration for the lore of your campaign. Interesting. Because if you think about it that way, you could see Metal Shark Player as a bit of a necromancer. And if that's the case, thinking about it now, I pretty much saw Sigma in Exit kind of as a lich. Because by the time you face him in X6, he's pretty much... He's not completed, but he thinks he's fit enough to fight, despite the fact that he moves almost like a shambling zombie, and then afterwards he basically comes at you like a giant skeleton-like thing, like a giant skeletal titan. So yeah, that basically makes me think that the thing they went for Sigma on that one is just purely a lich. Don't mind if I do. X, yeah. Let me see. X8 seems to kind of solidify the Lich vibes for sure. Well, part of it, because according to Lumine, the newest generation of Reploids of the time had to take on different DNA forms to suit different purposes. As he himself had said, they knew that the crash of the Jacob elevator was going to be rough, so prior to that, one of the DNA forms they took on was that of Sigma. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of a shock for X to see like this army of Sigmas coming out of the elevator. But I think for that one, Sigma was more of a devil, than an actual lich per se. But well, it certainly didn't hurt. I don't know. Come to think of it, I don't know if that was. Well, I think one of the real mysteries for that was the case was, did those Reploids go Maverick of their own free will, or was it because of the virus that may have been part of Sigma's DNA? Lumine seems to suggest that they did so of their own free will. Because the mantra I'm seeing with the Mavericks in that one, they seem to think that going Maverick is basically them realizing their autonomy. Oh, and we just cut off your trunk, so... Yeah, Lumine says it's free will, but like, there were even Mavericks that weren't affected. That's what I'm thinking too, because you know what? Thinking about it now, it kind of makes me wonder if Sigma wasn't too surprised, because after you beat him, he doesn't seem all that shocked or surprised. He keeps grumbling about this new world before he turns into a pile of scrap. And you know, that makes me think about what happened to Lumine. Yeah, he says it's free will, but I'm kind of thinking that the virus runs deeper than even he realizes. Anyway, since we already cut off his trunk, he can't lob oil anymore. So should we call you Flame Pig? Oh, Tepig? Ha! Tepig. Tepig before Tepig. Well, we can't call you Embor, you don't have tusks. You can throw your weight around all you want, but you're still mine. Put that junk up your trunk. Oh wait, that's right, you can't. We cut it off.
It kind of makes me wonder if the virus mutated. Oh yes, D-Rex. Ow. Ow. That takes care of you. This kind of makes me think about something. This kind of makes me think that in some way that that the virus may have evolved in some fashion. The way I see it, it probably infected Luminate to a point it was actually able to take corporeal form inside whatever liquid organ, let's see now. Let's see, what's the word I could find for it? Whatever liquids were running through his body, because it looks something like some kind of weird sentient tar-like thing. I don't think I used... Let me just take one quick look. I don't think I used any of my my sub-tanks, so let me just take one quick look just to be safe. No, we didn't, so let's go. You think some were infected, but there are those who weren't infected, and when Maverick acted on the free wills, they were given being Reploids, because they aren't as primitive as robot masters. You think the lore says something about Reploids being made to have free will? Yes. Yes, even Dr. Light had thought it that way with X, that he originally built X to be able to think, feel, and act for himself. Now, as for Dr. Kane, he tried, but he couldn't replicate the Dr. Light's design 100%, so he had to make do in certain areas. And I think it's those areas that he couldn't match 100% that may have led to most of the Reploids going berserk. But if you're thinking about if one could put the actual virus into context, it didn't start with Sigma. It started with Zero. And then what happened is, after their first encounter, Sigma got infected by the Maverick virus, and it ended up evolving so that way he became pretty much a sentient virus. If we go by X3, Dr. Doppler said that Sigma's true form wasn't that of the bodies he took, but something of a sentient virus. Oh yeah, you know what, there's another interesting thing about Dr. Wily. Well, for most people who are in the know, most people, they know that pretty much he was responsible for Zero, but I think there is more to it than that. Because, well, I do remember in the beginning, Dr. Light said he had no one that could carry on his work, so he can only hope for the best. But I don't know if Dr. Wily was as fortunate in that regard, or maybe it just happened by chance. We don't know what happened to him after Zero was activated, but there was actually an interesting theory going on, considering, let me see. This ended up having, well, I don't know if they'll ever canonize him, but Kikai comes to mind. Supposedly, Dr. Wily was able to steal the blueprints for X, but like Dr. Kane, he couldn't figure out everything 100%. Actually, he had an even harder time with it. It was such to a point that he was not able to do it in his lifetime. So I don't know if that's the case, whether it happened either by some weird divine prank or by design. Wily was able to somehow live on. Some people have speculated that Surgus of the X-Hunters is actually Dr. Wily. Now, part of the speculation for this goes into the dialogue in the Japanese version of X2, in which case he refers to X as a child of light. So in which case, Wily knows very well that one of his main motivations for his pursuits of world domination is to show the world that he's the greater robot scientist. So it wouldn't be hard to see him do that. And then also, if anyone knew how to handle Zero's parts, it was Wily. So even though well, like I said, it's kind of my spoiler for those who hadn't played X2, but okay, we know that Zero died in that encounter with Vile, as we saw, but his parts weren't left alone. Someone picked them up, and who better to handle the parts than the one who built him? So the way I see it, Circus had a major hand for what went on in whatchamacallits in X2. I do remember Sigma also commenting on Zero a little bit. Last of the Doctor's creations. He didn't say which one specifically, but if we think about what we know afterwards, I think that was the earliest nod he made to Dr. Wily, and then it became more plain when we get to X5. If you think about how the Shadow Devil fight went, yeah, the Shadow Devil itself was definitely a big alarm, but then one of the forms she changes into looks something like a little along the lines of a Wily machine, like a small-scale version of the sixth one. And then before fighting Sigma, he actually goes on a little bit more spiel about that, how he met someone who had similar goals as him, that they both hate X, and so them forming something of a partnership to get rid of him, I mean, felt only natural. In fact, some pretty much speculated that Sigma's weird, gigantic, somewhat digitized body was what was it called? Sigma Body W, I think it was called. That may have been built by Wily. Although the problem is we haven't seen any concrete bits. I mean, most of it's only speculative. I mean, there's more on that, but let's get going. And so he shows up. Welcome. I see you managed to get here by yourself. Very impressive. I could destroy you, but I would not rob my pet of that pleasure. He knows how to deal with betrayers. Should you live, I will be waiting for you. Don't disappoint me, X. Well, we got one, so yep, there he is. That was fast. Excellent job, X. I can see why Zero counted on you. You are almost as good a hunter as I was. But the time of your destruction has arrived. You shall regret ever having defied me. Dang it. I got too greedy. So we'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Walked right into that one. Why are you smiling? I see. Ow. Oh yes, he anamorphed. One thing I like about X-Dive, they actually incorporate Magna Mallow into this wolf body. Although I kind of wish they did more. I mean, I really loved that they gave X a Rathalos set of armor. Because the way I see it, among most everyone, I mean, he's more worthy to wear the armor of the Sky King than many who have looked more comely in it. At least that's my thought. I mean, because X is a pacifist, but if push comes to shove, he will fight. I mean, heck, I mean, if you take a look at, what was it? I can't remember, Tepin? He actually took one on recklessly. I mean, he didn't know how things were going to go, but no one decides to pick a fight with a Rathalos and gets away unscathed. Yep. Ow. Problem is, you can only fire one at a time. Oh, flip. I should have used the last one. Alright, we're gonna have to fuel up again. You know what? This is actually almost like yeah, this is basically like the mole section. Although instead of moles, we have caterpillars. One more. Lives are nice, but we need more energy. They're oddly generous with lives here. You know what, thinking about it now, it kind of makes me wonder if Capcom ever has the guts to decide to do an X9, there are a few things I do want to see. One I kind of want to see is them seeing another Wily connection. Maybe they could even use this as a means to introduce Kikai. Because as far as I know, Kikai was basically like the version of of X that Dr. Wily tried to replicate but couldn't in his lifetime. But as Surgus, he was able to. I mean, this is what I'm thinking. When he was reborn as Surgus, I can only imagine that one of Wily's first things he did was try and finish the work he started. And I'm pretty sure that he probably would have kept Kikai under wraps for a while, and then proceed to work with the whatchamacallits, with Sigma and the whatchamacallits and the X-Hunters. And that wouldn't be the first time, too. Some people speculate that for X6, that Wily would appear again as ISOC. Now, what makes me think this is that he operated almost in a similar fashion, but this time he started off as the face of the whatchamacallits, of the reclamation efforts, basically painting the Zero's ghost as an enemy. But I want to think that he was the one who found that he worked under Gate, and after Gate discovered a piece of Zero, he probably looked for more, but then he realized he probably couldn't do everything on his own, so he needed subordinate to delegate things to, which eventually became ISOC. So ISOC probably operated under the guise of the Faithful Servant, but in the meanwhile, he probably spent a lot of time. If I remember, it was quite a few months after the Eurasia Colony crash incident, so I'm thinking he probably would have found the time to rebuild Zero from scratch. Because there is another thing that comes to mind. If if you end up playing the game as Zero and beat High Max, Isaac isn't exactly surprised. He's actually a bit delighted by this because this is one thing, if I remember right, Wily would end up taking to his grave. He believed that Zero was the greatest of his creations, and as far as this would go, this would align with that. And if I remember right, Zero tried to attack him head on, but Isaac stopped him in his tracks. That is no small feat. And who better to do that? And who would better know how to do that than the man who built him? And then let me see if I remember right. After going far enough in Gates Fortress, Isaac vanishes. But if you do it as Zero, he'll tell you, he'll sing like your praises for a bit before seemingly vanishing to nothing. Well, no, I mean the body is just abandoned, basically. And other than that, we haven't seen anything since. So there's still quite a few things that they could look at, and then maybe we could also see what would happen in terms of the mutation that ended up invading Axel at the end of the battle with Lumine. You would just like to see Cygnus and Lightsaber again, but you also character customization or something. You know what? They could actually do that. Because if I remember, if you take a look at Mega Man 11, one of the things they wanted to do was a tiny bit of character customization, or rather taking a bit more on the forms of the robot masters you beat as far as what powers they had. I mean, because up until then, they just delegated it to palette swaps. That would be very interesting. Let's see. Alright, so I think I've wrapped it on long enough. Alright, let's get on with it. I think the problem is since I recharged on the shot, I gotta wait for it to fire before I do that. Bad dog. Alright, yeah, I know. Let's get to the part where I kick your butt. Ow! Whoa. Well, are you coming or what? Let's try this again, shall we? Ow.
Come on. That's a lot of fire breath. And there we go. No! It's not possible! I'm a Reploid! I can't be destroyed by you! Why, X? Why have you done this to us? Without the humans, my Reploid brothers could have ushered in a new age! That's different. The war is ended, for now, and peace has been restored. But those who sacrificed themselves for the victory will never return. Exhausted, X gazes at the destruction he helped cause and wonders why he chose to fight. Was there another way? Standing on the cliff, the answers seem to escape him. He only knows that he'll fight the Mavericks again before he finds his answer. How long will he keep on fighting? How long will his pain last? Maybe only the X-Buster on his hand knows for sure. Oh yes, that reminds me, I need to get something pretty quick. This'll work. Now, since this game is pretty much done, I need to figure out what to stream for tomorrow night. Now, I've got down to two choices. Of course, that being said, I kind of have to make it, I might need to make it a short one because I go back to work on Tuesday. So, now you figure out what to tomorrow. So, the two choices I have would either be Rocket Knight Adventures or Rune Factory 3 Special. So, I'm thinking we'll make this best 3 out of 5. Excuse me, so heads will be Rocket Knight, tails will be for Rune Factory 3. Here we go. First flip. Heads it is. That's one for heads. That one didn't count. Tails, one for heads, one for tails. 2 for tails. That one didn't count since it hit something. Dang it. It's hard to flip without that bouncing. 2 for heads. This is the tiebreaker. 2 for 2. Here comes the tiebreaker. Wait, one more. One more time. Heads it is. So tomorrow's stream is going to be Rocket Knight Adventures. Yeah, thank you very much. One thing I kind of find a little odd, but also at the same token, I understand why. When it came to assigning names in the credits, they gave certain people weird names. Weird names like Bandy, Aka, Iriko. This was to prevent rival companies from scouting them out for their own games. Like we have Rip RK, Elf, Sato, Yuki, Kiri, Dr. Kun, Borussia Sophie, yeah, weird name, Professor F. Yeah, all these were pretty much to prevent rival companies from scouting them out for their own games. Honolulu Yama, who is that? Sarin, Nabi, Michan, Goi-chan. Special thanks, Capcom All Staff. Thanks for playing, presented by Capcom. Oh, it's definitely fun going down memory lane this one. And also, I think outside of Monster Hunter World, this was the first game I actually started streaming with, I believe. I think it's been 7-8 years, I think, now. Or just about. It hit a few rough spots, but I guess you can't say it wasn't boring either. I mean, what happened with Armored Armadillo was a bit of a surprise. Oh, wait. You have won a temporary victory, X. What you destroyed was only a temporary body. My spirit remains intact. In time, I will find other bodies strong enough to do my bidding, and I will return. I shall see you soon, X. Very soon. This actually makes me think of a small nod to one of the sources of inspiration behind the Mega Man X series. Was it Kashern, Robot Hunter? Because I remember, I think they did make, Tatsunoko made a 90s OVA movie of it, and I remember things were alright, but then if you stuck around after the credits, you do see a bit of Android BK1. His body's still shattered, but it's still sparking, and then you see a little bit of notice. Artificial intelligence is still active in BK1. So I think that's what this is, basically a slightly blatant, but more obvious not to. So yeah, we're going to see him. Well, we'll see Sigma again eventually. He's like, well, what are you going to do about that? Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing with that thing? Don't you take that controller. Don't you measure the screen. Hey, wait, I'm not talking to you. Had to do it. Yeah, unfortunately, Sigma would eventually become a cockroach that would keep coming again and again and again. Let me see. Well, let me see. It took about just a tiny bit longer than I thought it would. Mostly because I did things a bit more different than I usually would. I think it might be a tiny bit rusty, because usually I wouldn't have that much trouble with Sigma. But such as it is, we did finish the game, so that will be it for tonight. Now, having done the coin toss during the credits, I've already decided. Tomorrow, we'll end up streaming Rocket Knight Adventures. I'm probably going to do it for like about an hour or so, maybe a little bit later, depending on how long it takes to beat that one. Maybe I might put a little bit more time into another one of the entry in the collection. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for tonight. So, for those of you who came to watch, thank you all for watching and enjoying me on this trip down memory lane. Now, let's see now. Assuming nothing goes wrong, I am hoping to finish off this weekend, well, tomorrow with Rocket Knight Adventures. So I hope you'll join me then for a little bit more classic chaos, so to speak. Chaos, action, and adventure, what have you. So, till then, I'm probably going to... Assuming things go away, I think it will probably the usual time. Actually, if possible, I may end up starting that one around 6:15 to be safe.
So, oh yeah, another thing I will say, well, thinking about it now, this game did make a bit of an impact with me in terms of with a few things. I do remember doing the odd bit of art every once in a while. I mean, if you look at look out at my page, you'll find the link to my Deviant art page, and I've definitely done quite a bit of Mega Man art over the years, including the X series, a little bit anyway. Yeah, if you scroll down the page, you'll see a link to my Deviant art. If in case any of you guys want to check that out afterwards. So, other than that, there's not much else to say except thank you all for watching, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow night. So, until tomorrow, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a good evening. Oh, goodbye for now.